Good morning. This is All Things Cheryl. Unapologetically. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. We're not going down there. We're not going down this road again. Review. Hi, everybody. I'm here. Girl. Hell to the no. We're not going down this road again. We're not. When I say we're not going down this road again, I'm here to do a review. I don't know if I'm going to get to a recap, but I'm going to do the best I can without getting too emotional. Because I literally was hollering and screaming at my TV last night. Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar. Oh, they went for it. Oh, what's the title? Episode 10? What's the episode? I can't even, I don't even know. But let's just go with it. Episode 10, season 3. We're going to start out with Nova. Nova is at a reading where she is reading her article with in a group of people. The audience is filled up with lots of people, and let me tell you, when Nova started reading, you could see all of this. The crowd was just really, they were really into it. And I used to go to a lot of poetry readings. I used to go to a lot of book readings. But just to sit, or was I laying? I don't know what I was doing. But when Nova was reading her excerpt from the book that she's getting ready to write about her father, Ernest, it was so dramatic. It kept my attention. It made me want to go, and even though I know that this was a fictional character, and basically she's, telling, what went on with her father and how he was basically dealing with his depression. It was very emotional, and I like the way they emerged the different scenes. When Noble was reading, we basically saw Charley with Prosperous. Then, as she went on and she read a little bit more, we see that Dollar, Ralph Angel, and the commotion and stuff, and we're gonna get to Dollar and Darlene, and we saw the emotions, and then they got into it. So the reading went wonderful. Of course, Remy was basically in the crowd looking, and Noah was out looking in the crowd. And this is when we find out that policeman, police has come to the school, and the little act up crowd is getting ready to get busted. They're getting ready to get broken down one by one. And what made it so interesting to me, the only young girl that's with the actor crew asked the policeman, "Well, what are you doing here?" Whatever. The police told the girl, "Look, you need to just step aside. Let me take care of what I gotta do." So they came and they arrested Anthony. I think his name is Anthony Combs. Anthony was the first in the little act up crew to get locked up. And so this is when we see Micah and Kiki was basically in school. So we see them in school doing their everyday thing. So, okay. Then we go on into another part of town. We get a knock on the door. And I was like, well, what's going on? Child Protective Agency in here in the state of Jersey, we call it, I think it's called DCFS. Children, they come and check on the children, see what's going on. Apparently, we don't know. Someone has called Child Protective Service on Ralph Angel. So they asked Ralph Angel, said, can we come into the house? And Ralph Angel said, well, we're getting ready to go to school. Blue's getting ready to go to school. And you're not really supposed to come here without my knowing it. And so Ralph Angel, you should see the expression on Ralph Angel's face. He was like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm going to do a little cursing. Hey, it is what it is. I'm just going to do what I do. I'm going to be true to me. He was like, what the, I was like, yo, who called? Girl. So they came in and they had Ralph Angel in one room and then they had Blue in another room, and girl was asking, one of the young ladies was asking Blue, would say, well, who wakes Pop when you with your papa? Who wakes him up? Do you wake your daddy up? Or does he wake up for himself? And they was asking questions after question. And then Ralph Angel you can see Ralph Angel's temper was basically getting ready to explode. And so apparently Blue must have had a little scratch or everything. And so Ralph Angel was beginning to see the expression, was beginning to get, paranoid. Is because you know how protective agency is. You know how DCFS is. If they see one scratch, two scratch, or three scratch right away, that, I don't have any kids, but I raise kids, so Ralph Angel was trying to explain to him, well, he hurt himself, he had a scratch, whatever. And so eventually Ralph Angel was like, look, I've had enough of you guys. And I was like, through the scream, I was like, Ralph Angel, sit your little buns down. Sit down. Stop trying to be so controlling. And that's why they had the cops with, because when they came, two ladies and the cop was there, so they came. And so I said to myself, Ralph Angel, Ralph Angel, sit your ass down. That's what I said to myself. I said, sit your ass down. I said, sit your ass down, Ralph Angel. Right now, you don't want to do nothing that's going to put a strike on you. That's going, you're going to mess around and you're going to lose Blue. And so Ralph Angel finally set his little self down. Then we see Ralph Angel decide to go to his parole officer, to his parole person who's taking care of his case. And apparently he wasn't there, and it was a woman there. And so Ralph Angel was trying to explain to the young lady that, he was getting ready to go up for early parole. And do you think if the child protective age, coming through, is going to put a damage on him getting released early? And so she, the woman there, she was like kind of nasty. And I was like, yo, he's trying to ask a question and, you're not really being, you being nasty. Let's just put it that. Girl, you being nasty. And right now, Ralph Angel was not having it, because at this point, the way he was feeling, he might have had snatched her little ass up and threw her up against the wall. How she was feeling right now, due to the fact that he had just got finished dealing, being interrogated. And so, remember, I think it was in season 1 or 2. And when Blue was having this problem with Kenya, and Kenya was thrown in the trash can, well, the police officer, and I'm loving the fact that they're bringing all of some of these characters back in season 1 and 2. So we see I don't know what his name was, can't think of it. Anyway, we see the 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 police who was at one time, she was a she, but now she's a trans man. Let me just put it this way: trans man, his friend who transitioned from being a woman to transition to being a man, and which to me was pretty good. One reason why I said it was pretty good, being due to the fact that he's a trans man, so therefore he had a little bit more sensitivity as far as trying to explain to Ralph Angel, you trying to be all this manhood and you trying to, trying to prove yourself, that the fact that you're a man and everything, and to 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 make it simple, he was saying that you need to kind of calm yourself down. It's because right now what you're doing is that excuse me, my sinus is acting up again. I don't know why, but excuse me. You need to calm yourself down. And they're already saying that when it comes to, black men, it's the angry black man. It's the angry, it's the angry black community personally. They like to put us in a category. They like to put a strike on us. It seems that we always are angry. And he was able to calm Ralph Angel down and saying, look, if you want to keep hold of Blue, if you want to, don't want to lose your son, you need to calm that manhood stuff down, because that's not going to work. That's not going to work. You're going to mess around and you're going to lose your son because you're getting hot-headed, you're getting angry and everything, so you got to calm it down. And so we go on and we see that after he comes from the parole office, he gets on the phone and he calls Aunt Violet. He calls Aunt Violet. And so the next thing we see, Aunt Violet. No. Next thing we see that Ralph Angel, we dealing with Ralph Angel right now. We see that Ralph Angel gets on the phone and call Dollar. And Dollar is at work. Dollar's doing her thing. But before Dollar went to work, we saw Dollar sitting in a car, and we see this white guy. She sees this white guy, and it looks like he was like on Skid Row, or he was like, he was where she used to be, and so she looked at that. So we see that. So I don't know what that little scene had to do, but I think it was kind of sort of reminding Dollar as to, where she was and where she is now. So we see Dollar and we see Dollar at the bank. Dollar's working in the bank, okay? She's handling people's money. Remember now, she said she was going to school for accounting. And so apparently she's in the bank working as a teller. I don't know what, but anyway. We hear Ralph Angel on the other end of the phone. Because before then, Ralph Angel wanted to know who called you, who did it, who called you, who called you. And so right off the bat, he was thinking that Dollar basically called, DCFS, the Child Protective Agency. And Dollar was like, what? Wait a minute. I didn't call these people. What are you talking about? I don't have nothing. And then that's when Ralph Angel started getting into, I know you called him. I know you call him. I know you call him. I know you call him. And Dollar was like, no, I wouldn't do that. Why would I do something like that? Why would I jeopardize, something like that? So then we see that Ralph Angel. I know I'm jumping back and forth because I want to make sure y'all get this. Then we see Ralph Angel pick up the phone. Hello? And we hear Ralph Angel say, "And baby." And so then, that's when we see and Violet and Darlene. And let me just tell you, it was a showdown in the grandmas, the two grandmothers. And the dialogue was superb. And Violet told Darlene, yo, why would you go and call these people on Ralph Angel? And they thinking that Ralph Angel is not a father. Why would you do that? And so this is when Darlene's telling say, well, Blue is basically acting out. Ralph Angel has, jail people coming back and forth in his home. And he's, basically being shipped from one home to another home because of Ralph Angel and Dollar. So he needs to be in a stable environment. I'm thinking to myself, stable environment, shifting from one home to another home, co-parenting. Isn't that what co-parenting is about? Aren't you? I mean, that means that the child is going to be shifting from one home to another home, co-parenting, one environment into another environment, unstable, or, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't what co-parenting is about? The child being able to spend quality time with both parents. Now, had Dollar wasn't and have Ralph Angel wasn't so hard as, they wouldn't be going through all of this. Ralph Angel just went on and did the 50-50 and, stop trying to hog up all the Blue. We wouldn't be going through this. We wouldn't be going down this road again. And so this is when, I mean, and Violet really came to, Ralph Angel's side. But Dollar and Darlene, they gotta fight. Because Aunt Violet said that you thinking that you're gonna take you're gonna take Blue from the borderlands. You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen the wrath of the borderlands. Now, when Aunt Violet was saying the wrath of the borderlands, on the other side of town, we see Charley making Godfather's move, making boss move, Godfather move. Basically, she went in, she found I got the brother who's a part of the been on the EPA kind of EPA scandal, trying to make it seem like, there's something going on with the farmers and stuff like that. And so Charley was basically, sitting there talking to the brothers, and then the brother tried to get really smart with Charley and told Charley, said, look, I ain't like my brother. You may have my brother wrapped around your little fingers, but when it comes to me, I'm a different story. When it comes to the borderline, no, when it comes to the Lancer and the Boujons, we are a totally different breed. And so this is when Charley was like, and then he went on to tell Charley, if you are coming to me to talk to me about my mistress, and my wife knows about it. And so Charley was saying, look, I'm not here to talk about your mistress. I'm basically here to get the money. I'm basically here to get your 10% of the company. And you're going to sign it all over to me. You're going to sign it all over to me. And this is when he tried to basically persuade Charley. He's like, look. I'll give you, I think what he said, 2, 3, 5%. I'm not quite sure. 2, 3, 5%. And Charley was like, huh, yo, I don't want 2, 3, 5%. No, I don't want that. I want your company. I want 10. I want all of the shares that you have in your company. I was saying to myself, Godfather move. Godfather move. Now, I'm thinking that Charley gonna have to be really, really careful with the information that she got, because even though it's a possibility, but we're not sure yet. But Charley, on the other side of town, Charley is making boss moves, getting 10% of all of the shares in the Landry company, and Invalid is on another side of town, threatening people and telling them you haven't really felt the wrath of the Borderlands. So we have Invalid over there threatening Darlene, telling Invalid said, I don't give a rat's ass about a DNA. Blue is a Borderland. Blue is a Borderland. And gonna fight you every step of the way. And I was like, oh hell. Here we go. And then we see Charley on this other part of the town talking about, yo, I want 10% of all of your stock. 10%. In the meantime, we see Micah. Micah is back at school, and Micah and Kiki basically talking and everything. And Kiki is very, very upset due to the fact that, you know, the historical landmark, the college, the cabinet was burned down. And so Kiki said, well, if they're going to burn down anything, they should have went on and basically burnt down the house instead of the college. And I mean, hey, they shouldn't have been there in the first place. They should have not been there in the first place. So Micah basically confided in Kiki and told Kiki that he basically was there. And so this is when him and Kiki got into it. And Kiki said, well, okay, so this is where most of your time been spending. You know, you've been hanging out with them instead of hanging out with me. And so Michael says, well, you didn't want to be your friend. And Kiki says, look, I'm up here I'm studying for my ACT test, or, the ACT test, what is it, the ACT test and the SA test. She says, I'm basically trying to prepare myself so I can get into the various colleges, so I can get tuition, so I won't have to pay for anything. In the meanwhile, you out here acting up and getting all revolutionaries. And then this is when Micah said, well, you did tell me to find my voice. And so Kiki was like, yeah, I told you find your voice, but not like this. And then this is when Kiki told Micah, said, I don't even know you. She said, I don't even know you. Who? She asked the question, who are you? And that's a very heavy question. That's a very heavy question. Who are you? Who is Micah? Micah is finding himself. He's coming from Hollywood into, a whole different culture, a whole different way, they handle things in the South is totally different. And so we go on, and they had their first argument. I was like, oh, okay, it is what it is. In the meantime, we see that Prosper has failed in the house, because Charley was getting ready to go, go to work. And so Prosper basically called Charley, and Charley came through, and Charley told Prosper, said, I'm glad that you had your phone, that you could call me. And so this Prosper said, well, I didn't really want to call you, but, And so Charley asked him, well, what happened? He says, well, I basically slipped. and we don't know what kind of slip. We don't know whether or not he hit his hip or whatever like that. And so Charlie tried to, help him up, but wind up that Prosperous basically wind up in the hospital. And here's the cute thing: it is, I believe Charlie is getting ready to find love. The reason why I'm saying Charlie is getting ready to find love. Remember the little hot tamale, the little hot, I don't know if he's Mexican or whatever. Well, basically, Charlie, I think she called him and he basically came over I was like, that's really good. Charlie, called him to give some moral support to, so Charlie wouldn't be there by herself, handling Prosperous. And so, this is when Charlie finds out that Prosperous was supposed to have an operation and he canceled the operation. And so this is when the young fella, I don't know his name, he was telling Charlie it's not, and then Charlie would say, well, I guess it's about being, having a pride. And then this is when he says, well, it's not having a pride, it's about fear. And so basically, this is when we find out the reason why Prosperous basically closed his didn't want to do the operation. And then we see that, Prosperous in the hospital. Look, writers, we don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do what I think you're about to do. Don't do it. No, I don't think we could take it. And I don't really think that Charlie could take it. Because basically, remember when Ernest was in the hospital and Charlie was in Hollywood, Charlie couldn't really get to her father in time enough. So now we see Prosperous is in the hospital and she's there. And don't do it. Don't. And the reason why Prosperous didn't want to do it because he says that one of his friends at church went into the hospital and he never came back. And he said the reason why he never came back is because, senior citizens or people like him, older people, go into the hospital and they never come back out. So he has a stigma. He has this thing about the hospital. And basically, who doesn't? Who doesn't have this stigma about being in a hospital? So we go on, and that's why I said Charlie is beginning to find love, right? Beginning to find love. And so she tells the young man, she says, well, you don't really have to basically stay with me. And he was like, I'm here. And so this is what I'm saying. I think Charlie is beginning to find true love. Let's hope that this is true love. Now, I believe, we find out that Aunt Riley is not in favor of Nova talking about her brother and his depression. So she decides that she wants to have a little conversation and saying that you violated our trust, you airing the air out about our family, in other words, I don't approve of it. Like, I don't approve of it. But you have to realize that Aunt B is basically coming from old school. Keep everything to yourself. Don't let everybody know what's going on with your business, and suffer. Suffer with depression. Nowadays, it's not like that. Go get help. Do what you need to do, and take care of you. Take care of you. Stop trying to be, super person. Because, being our community, we like to want to be super people, try to handle everything. And we really can't. We need to really, really allow ourselves to be open, allow ourselves to reach out and ask for help when we need it. And so we also go on and we find a little bit out about Hollywood. Hollywood is not doing too well. Hollywood is very, very sad. Hollywood is um, feeling the loss of a child with his ex-wife, Leanne. And so Leanne had a miscarriage. And so um, Hollywood was coming in, and Aunt Violet was basically trying to talk to Hollywood about Nova in her article that she had with the New Yorker. And she didn't agree with it, but Hollywood basically told Aunt Violet that it's a good way. He got Aunt Violet to look at it, look at the article a totally different way, and he also went on and showed and showed how he felt about him losing, his first child, and he told Aunt Violet that um, it was 11 years ago that he and Leanne lost their child, and he also told Aunt Violet that she would be 11 years old. So we saw the softer side, and I love the fact that Violet, she was basically getting ready to air out her laundry and air out what was going on with herself, and the fact that she didn't approve of Nova in this article this book that she is beginning to basically write. And so we see the softer side to that. Now, let's go on and deal with um, the DNA. Hey, look, guys, we'll get ready to go down to this DNA. We get ready to go down this road again. We get ready to go down this road again. When I say get ready to go down this road again, they get ready to do this DNA, this blood testing. Now remember, Ralph Angel knows that he's not the biological father, but remember, Charley said that they might have probably manipulated some stuff and to get Ralph Angel to think that he may not be or is not Blue's father. Now, here we go again. We gotta wait until we getting what? 3 more episodes. I think there's 15 episodes this year. And so we're getting ready to go down that road again. I just wanted to make sure I got that in. We're getting ready to go down that road again with the DNA, the testing, and all of this, and find out whatever. So, then, writers, you heard us. You heard us. When I say you heard us, you heard me when I was saying hell to the no. No, 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 no. When it came to Remy and Nova. Although they were a good fit, I'm going to give it to you. They were a good fit, but had it been some, I don't know. But anyway, you heard us. When we said hell to the no, we like, oh no, this is the sister code. No, this is a code, period. X, no. So we go on and we see that Remy and Nova is sitting having basically a candlelight dinner. Sitting on the rug with candles. Nova is not sex, but no one knows how to get the adrenaline going when it comes to, sexual feelings and all of that. But we see them basically, having a candlelight dinner. And so Remy says, is everything okay? And then this is when Nova gets up off of the carpet and sit in the chair. And basically Nova's like, no, it's not okay. I'm not okay. And so this is when Remy start to try to throw his appeal and his plea as to the reason why they should be together. He started telling the same story that he told Charley. Remember that story he told Charley? And So he tried to throw that story at Nova. And to make a long story short, basically, Nova broke it off. Nova said it's not a good timing. Told Remy that, yeah, you're a good man, and Remy was saying, well, yeah, you're a good woman. And for a minute, the way the camera was moving and all of the darkness, I thought that they were getting ready to embrace, but they didn't. And so basically, Nova says, well, it's not right that basically, you know, we came together, and we came together at a time where we came through, well, how did they say that dialogue? Through hurt or through pain? But here's to say, writers, you got it, and you granted our wish, and we said hell to the no, and so Nova and Remy is no more. And you saw the expression on Nova's face, and Remy got up. Nova opened up the door. Bye bye, Remy. Now, remember what Charley told Remy? Charley told Remy, said, we're sisters forever. But you are a fleeting. And guess what? Bye bye. And that was it. This was a very good episode. I'm not quite sure. I hope I kind of got it all. But this is very good. Oh my God, this is good. The dynamics between Darlene and Violet, and basically it was Darlene basically who called the Child Protective Agency. I was like, you? I was like, no, you didn't. And no, you didn't. No, you didn't. So, look, this is all things Cheryl Unapologetically, and we're dealing with episode, well, I just got finished with episode 10. Season 3. Like for you to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification, and share. Until the next time, this is all things Cheryl. Love and peace, and remember, love is for everyone. And hey, we get ready to go down that road again with this DNA. I was like, and Charley and Violet. Charley is making Godfather move, and Violet is making borderline move. So two powerful women coming together and saying hell to the no. You're not going to try to come in and destroy our family. Till the next time, I keep trying to say love, peace. And hey, I'm kind of done with my reviews. So if I see something, I'm kind of sort of in and out with Love Is. I'm not really. It's good. It's good. Go check it out. That's all I'm gonna say. Go check it out. It's good. And oh, wow, my goodness, they're rolling. Hey, Greenleaf is getting ready to come through, and girl, I'm hollering hell to the no. I'm getting ready to holler, girl. Anyway.